Good evening, Unique Couples community. We are Vito and Linda Patrick, founders of Unique Couples and co authors of Seven Pillars to Strengthen Your Marriage. And welcome to day number 13, day number 30
final day
of the Seven Pillars to Strengthen Your Marriage Summit, Marriage on a Mission. We have been here for the last 29 days sharing with couples from all around the world, and we have reached to day number 30, and we are going to be in for another great time this evening.
Oh, yeah. So we are at Seven Pillars to Strengthen Your Marriage Summit. We said marriage on a mission, 30 days, 30 couples, 30 ways to make your relationship stronger, healthier, and happier in 30 minutes or less a day. And we're so excited to have the Turners here with us today. And we're just happy to wrap it all up. Like, we've had so many couples. Like, this is supposed to be a grand finale. I guess at the end we'll get to share, but we just want to share with the Turners today. Thank you so much for being a part of the show.
Yes,
great pleasure.
Good evening. Good evening. How are you guys doing?
You're doing great. How about you all?
Oh, we're doing great.
Awesome.
Yes. Thank you for being here with us this evening. Thank you for taking time out of your schedule. And we are going to go straight into the conversation. So, to the Turners, can you tell our viewing audience a little about yourselves and how and when did you meet?
Okay, well, I'm Maggie, and I'm a nurse educator by profession, and just completed in the last 8 years. I retired from the University of the Bahamas, where I taught nursing and was involved with some other middle management administrative work. It's difficult to say where we met because it seemed as if from I was very young, I knew this person that I married. I remember as a very young lady, a child really, going around the hospital with my brother who had dental problems, some dental challenges. And I used to see a group of guys dressed in this blue uniform walking through the hospital. Then I realized that the Office of Environmental Health was somewhere on that compound. And we just seemed to have had, I guess, an attraction for each other. And later, we realized that he had family that lived in the same community as my parents, and we would see each other. And I guess for me, I can almost say it was love at first sight because I really did love him, but I guess that was a chat from a child's standpoint, because certainly nothing serious was being considered at that young age. And so I think that's where we really had our first meeting, and then later we connected when he came by our house one day, which was across the street, and I thought he was coming to see my sister, who was a bit older than me and more closer to his age. Not that we are far apart in age. I thought he was coming to visit with her, but I realized that what he was doing was befriending the entire family. He befriended the entire family before I realized that he had his eyes on me. And it was just as if everything was well in place. It wasn't a matter of any long thesis or research that we had to do, because I think we felt the same way about each other. And I was basically probably 14, 15 at that age.
Wow. That's a memory of it. Now, I can recall I was across the street from their home at the time, talking with a mutual friend. And she was in the front of the yard, actually sweeping up. I think it may have been a Friday, I didn't know anything about preparation day at that time, but she was sweeping up, and I inquired from the friend, that young lady across the street there. And my friend told me, man, go ahead. Say she doesn't have a boyfriend, and check it out. And so I walk across the street and I introduced myself, and it was just smooth running from there. Until later on, she went off to school and we had a break in our relationship. And then when she came back from school, which was around 1975, we reconnected, and here we are today. married couples for 49 years.
Wow, wow.
Awesome.
Awesome. Yes.
Awesome.
When I heard that number, I was like, yes, because you just recently celebrated, right? I was what, a week or two or so ago. I was
Yes,
like,
Yes,
on the 7th of this month,
yeah,
49 years. Mm.
49
49.
years.
Yes. I was
Wow.
like, that's some years, way
Yes.
older than how long we've been born, right?
Yes. Older than us.
yeah,
Older
yeah.
than us. I was like, yes, definitely. So we know
We're
you
still
had
counting. We're still counting.
awesome, awesome. You have some wisdom to share with us, and we know 49 years has is definitely a long time. 29 years is a
Mhm.
long time, and so much things happen. Talk to us about that journey. Like, what was it like? I guess during the initial stages to where is it now? How has your relationship changed? The dynamics of all of that
Well,
with your journey.
when you first come into contact with each other, everything is new, and you realize that you come from different backgrounds and so on and so forth. But we had a connect right away, and we both, prior to actually being married or getting married, we decided on certain things that we were going to anticipate in our relationship, and we decided how many kids we're gonna have, and we promised if we ever get to the point where we can't tolerate each other, what we should do, and all those kinds of things. But God has been good to us, and we've grown over the years. And I always say that the day that you actually walk into the church or the JP's office and you look at each other and you think that you are deeply in love, that it may be true too, but most of that is infatuation. Most of it is when you really determine how much you love each other is when you would have gone through a number of years getting to know each other intimately, getting to know each other generally, and when you realize that, hey, I know the good about you, I know the bad about you, and I know the ugly about you, and you're still willing to accept all of those, recognizing that God created each one of us as a unique individual, and we must be willing to accept that uniqueness if we're going to have a union.
Awesome.
Mhm.
So that's when you know the love it's really love. The good,
Oh
the
yeah,
bad, the
over the
ugly.
years, over the
That
years,
is
yeah,
perfect.
yep, yes.
Yes.
All right. Awesome. Awesome. Thank you
Mhm.
for sharing that. And when we talk about 49 years, that's a lot of years. And through
Mhm.
those 49 years, there probably would have been some obstacles or challenges. So can you just tell our viewing audience what is an obstacle or challenge you face in marriage and how did you overcome it?
Well,
Go ahead.
I would say about 6 months into our relationship,
Mhm.
uh, I went off to school,
Mhm.
uh, and communicating at distance, being distant from each other, etc. That was a challenge. And then later on, I went off to school again for a number of years.
Every summer he was going off to
Off to school,
school.
yeah. And you find that, they say absence makes the heart grow fonder.
Not true. Yonder.
Well, anyhow,
He called me until he was cold, and I was come up that summer to warm him up. But nonetheless, when you think about the relationship and love, you really realize that you can't base it on just a feeling. It has to be a commitment to the relationship.
Mhm.
And I felt that with both of us being committed, we were prepared to work through the challenges because one of the um, objects we had, objectives we had in our relationship was that we were going to support each other professionally. And so the going away and what have you was to actually fulfill that promise to improve on ourselves academically. And also that would assist us in building the relationship for the family that we actually wanted. And so we had to delay certain things like having children. We decided to wait for almost 2 years before we had our first child. And so that because we were committed to that, we had planned it prior to getting married that we would do certain things because, of course, even though you're married 49 years, I can tell you, it is as if you're still learning about each other every day. I'm still learning things about my husband after 49 years. And I wonder, is this the man I married? Okay. And, but I say, but this is the man I'm committed to. And with both of us being committed to the relationship, when those difficulties came along, we bore that challenge together. And within it, having a mutual respect for each other, even though we are both in similar fields, we'd say health, but we had to find ways of making our communication interesting and not talking about just health, and to broaden our scope of thinking in other areas and making life kind of interesting. And for us, one of the things that we did every year, well, actually, let me go back to the first year we got married. We were not going to imitate or try to keep up with the Joneses. And we didn't take a honeymoon. We didn't take a honeymoon. Reason being, we had another priority that was getting a home. And we did not take a honeymoon until 2 years, about 2 years into our relationship before we actually went. And after that time, we have been going away as a family every year. And as the children got old and on their own, we still go away every year for 49 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is
That's
amazing.
yes, and I just love that word, that C word you mentioned, commitment.
Commitment,
And
yes.
that commitment is so true, and that is so important because when we talk about 49 years, even though I am not 49 years old, that is commitment. And then you also mentioned how you had goals and you both communicated it where you wanted to further your education. So to our unique couples community, there you have it, commitment. You have to be committed to your spouse. You have to be in it together, and that is important. So just thank you to the Turners for sharing that and telling us how important commitment is.
Oh yes, definitely. And
I
so many times
definitely.
we take it for granted, right? We take
Right,
the knowing that our spouse, we figure we have it all figured out because
right,
you're staying 49 years and you're still learning about your spouse. And so
right.
for the persons who are married, and they're only married 7 years, or and I'm into our 20, and I'm like, oh, what else can I learn? But at
Oh, you
49,
plenty.
you're learning.
Right. And you
So
see,
there's
another thing too is that you can't base the relationship on love or on a feeling because we don't feel in the same way every day. If it's based on just that feeling, the marriage would not work because feeling is based on our emotions, and our emotions change from day to day. But some days you want to kill, you feel like you want to kill him. I want to stay here. Is this the man I actually married to? That's when commitment takes place. And you have to remember. And sometimes I know we have disagreements. And they have just been exchange of differences in opinion. But some days, you know what I do? When I feel as if I'm down, I take the wedding album and I look at the wedding pictures. And I see how happy I was on the day I got married. And that just melts away any other thing that was trying to affect me negatively. And I said,
Yeah.
there must have been something about this man why I married him to begin with.
Mm.
And I made the commitment at the altar. And I'm determined to stay with that commitment. It was till death do us part. So we ain't going nowhere. Simply
That's for
put.
sure.
Amen.
So
Yes,
Michael,
we need more people to do that and think that way because the minute a problem arises, we
Right.
find that people want to
Back
split.
up and go.
You know, they want to
Mhm.
and
cut the relationship. And
Right,
then, of course, they go into other relationships, but then they don't realize that they're taking themselves into the relationship. And they might have been
yes,
the problem or contributed to the problem. And so
right,
having that commitment to say, yes, I'm a unique couple. I am going to make sure that our relationship is the most important issue, committing to it and not just basing it on feelings. And I like how even, sometimes we get emotional, and I like how
yeah,
you brought that in. So if you're feeling down and you're feeling like you question your relationship, you go back to the photo album and look at you happy on your wedding day,
that's
smiling,
right.
and remember why you did it in the first place.
Yes, yes.
So I think
Yeah,
that's
part of the issue too is, you come to the point where you realize that we like people, in most instances, we like people to be like we are. You
mm,
know, I want a person to be similar to me and how I do things, right? But you realize that each person is different. And my expectations of uh, you being what I want you to be, that's got to be simmered down because God didn't make us that way. And you have a unique, we come from different backgrounds, first of all. And therefore, we must now mesh together the different background where we came from, and we must uh, come to the point where we realize that, hey, you are this particular individual, I am a different individual, and even though we're gonna compromise and we're gonna do some things together, yet there will be differences of opinion, yes, but we must be to the point where we must come to the point where we realize that, hey, even though we do not see the issue similarly, we realize that, hey, you got a point and I've got a point, so let's see if we can work it out together. And so it calls for a coming together of the minds where
yes.
you realize that, hey, we've got to work it out, and we see ourselves as a unit. We don't see ourselves as I am here and you over there, and we are different individuals per se, but we work as a unit so that whatever we do, we're doing it to improve or encourage the positive aspect of our relationship, our union.
Definitely. Yes.
Yes.
Awesome, awesome, awesome point. So those of you who are just watching or tuning in, this is the last day, 7 Pillars to Strengthen Your Marriage Summit, Marriage on a Mission. And we have been focusing, I'm not sure if the Turners know, but for all of you and who might just be watching and not sure that but now we are the recent authors of the book, 7 Pillars to Strengthen Your Marriage. And we've had 29, today 30 couples who have shared whether they contributed to the book or read it and kind of like shared on their experience with it. But for you guys, I some of what you mentioned we relate to in the book in terms of, you said you're learning more about your spouse every day, right? And then we encourage couples. I think we even had that conversation where we said create those new experiences where you get to do things together as a couple, because every day, well, if it's not every day and you're aware of it, but you will be learning more about your spouse and you should be having these experiences. So tell us why reading a book together or something like that, like 7 Pillars to Strengthen Your Marriage, would be something that couples should do, where they get to have a unique experience. Why is it important for them to read a book like 7 Pillars to Strengthen Your Marriage, a marriage book, a book about relationships? And, we talk about the pillars, we talk about communication, we talk about creating a couple's vision, finances is in there. And so why would that be important?
Well, if you are anticipating continual growth, then you realize that you don't have all the answers as a couple.
Mm-hmm.
There are other couples out there with different or similar experiences. And so putting a book together, like the book that you authored, you would find that we can glean from that also. And not only that, the issues that therein, we can actually apply some of those, and with the hope that it'll strengthen our marriage. And not only that, it puts us basically on the same page. You see? So when we do it together, we read it together, and we look at the issues that have been offered, then we can say, hey, let's try this, or we have the same mindset going forward as to why it is important for us to be able to read this book and apply some.
Yes, yes. Awesome, awesome. Thank you for that. And
Yes, I'm open to other ideas and suggestions, and the fact that the book was co-authored by you and your husband from a Christian standpoint really can add insights as to things and situations that may become challenges, and how we can deal with them in the relationship that would make our relationship work, because that is what God is all about. He
Yes.
wants these relationships to work. And if we just come into it and we are still living the first year 49 years later, then something is
Oh, I love
wrong.
it.
You know? And it makes marriage become mundane. We have to find new ways, and for couples out there also, it doesn't have to always be money. Tell an experience we had a couple years back, early in our relationship, and I called my husband one day and I said, let's have lunch. I didn't know he was broke, and we only had enough money to buy one sandwich from one of the fast food chains. And what we did, we got together, we bought that sandwich, drink, and fries, and we went to Fort Charlotte and we parked on one of those almond trees. We ate that and we had conversation. We did kiss, and we went back to work. And it was one of the most enjoyable experiences of our lives. So we don't have to have money to make these precious moments, memorable.
Yeah, another point too. Another point is being able to communicate. Uh, now, when I say communicate, it's not just a matter of talking, but in your partner, you should be able to communicate to the point where you get stimulation from the conversation. And that is, you have a point of view, he or she may have another point of view, but when you talk together and when you discuss, you come up with new ideas, a suggestion that maybe the other party did not think about. And then the depth of your conversation too. How is it stimulating? Is it causing me to think? Is it giving me another perspective? All of those kinds of things are important in the relationship, because I can be out there in the world and I can be talking to a number of people, and as far as I'm concerned, they're not really doing anything to stimulate my mind, to stimulate my thinking and my thought processes. But when I come home and we can have a good conversation, regardless of what the subject may be, but it causes me to think. It challenges me to think maybe on another level. Then that is very good. It's stimulating and it's good for your spiritual and your emotional growth.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much. For those of you who are just joining us or who are here listening, watching, go ahead, click the link in the comments and get your free gift. Okay. Get your free gift where we talk about the spa. It's also in the book as well. We talk about the spa and it's spouse supporting positive action. And it includes, I think y'all talk about those date night ideas. So we have some date night ideas in there, things that you can do that'll be simple, but also allow you to connect with your spouse on an intimate level. So we have those in there, those ideas and supporting activities. Go ahead and click that link and get the access to your worksheet so that you can indeed increase the intimacy and connection you have with your spouse.
Yes, and I just love a couple points what the Turners would have mentioned. I know Michael, he mentioned the part about continual growth.
Yes.
That's key. That's important, where you continue growing together, learning your spouse. And then I know Maggie, she mentioned the part about creating memories, that lunch date,
Yes.
sharing that combo. That's very important, So you have to have these memories. You have to continue growing together, because when we talk about 49 years, yes, there has to have been memories, there have to have been growth. So just want to thank you very much for sharing that. And drum roll, drum roll, drum roll. We have reached the part of the program where we ask for our number one tip or recommendation. And today is day number 30, which is the last day. I mean, tomorrow we won't be having this.
Yeah.
What are we going to do?
Yes, by special request, our Sunday Night Lives will continue. So we'll pop in some people. The summit continues, but not every day like we did in November. No.
But for the last 29 days, we have had a tip each day from the couples that were on. And believe it or not, we haven't had no repeats, no duplication. Every couple gave a different tip. And this is unique couples. No two couples are this. So we didn't expect to have any duplications, So to the Turners, can you let our viewing audience know what is your number one tip or recommendation to making relationships stronger, healthier, and happier?
Woo-hoo-hoo.
Well, this may be one that you've gotten already, but I would say find activities to do together. You know, uh, you travel together. You find games to participate in together. You find uh, restaurants to go to together.
Mhm.
The whole gamut. You just find things to do together because that togetherness is like a cement. It bonds you together, and that is what you're looking for. You're looking for bonding, continual bonding. You see, over the years you've been bonding already, but you want to continue the process. And to continue the process, then you've got to introduce sometimes some new activities because
Yeah.
sometimes what you've been doing all along may become a little mundane and stale, right? But you want to
Mm.
find some new activities to do. Now we travel together, we take trips together, and we just enjoy each other's company as we undergo those type of activities.
Awesome. Love it.
And,
Love it. Definitely love it.
and
And
then, doesn't me add that many times uh, I love certain sports, and she at the beginning she never cared particularly for those type of sports, but now she would sit down and enjoy the same particular sport with me. That tells you that she's gained an interest not because she outright loved the sport, but because I love it,
And
and she
because I want
wants
to
to
be
be in
with
my
him.
company. You know? Yeah,
awesome.
yeah,
That blending is very important.
yes,
I
yes,
love how you said, try the new experiences,
yes,
and don't let the
yes,
marriage get stale. And so
right.
this is the perfect time to remind everyone that December 7th, yes, this December 7th, we're celebrating 6 years as unique couples, and we are culminating our 30 days at the 7 Pillars to Strengthen Your Marriage Summit with our from this moment, we've only just begun all white couples retreat experience at Pelican Bay. It is going to be at 5 p.m. and we want all our couples to come and join us. Listen, if you're home and you're thinking, just stay away
What's the
from
date?
stale relationship. Okay, stay
What's the
away.
date? What's the date?
She said the
Sorry,
six.
What's the date? What's the date for
the
the
date is
function?
December 7th. Yes,
That's actually next week,
Hey
Sunday.
man, we're gonna miss it. We're gonna miss it because
that's
we're going on one of those trips I told you about. Hey, we're going on one of those trips I told you about.
yes,
Oh, okay,
yes,
okay.
yes. She told me.
Yeah. But
Yes,
we definitely we'll catch the one next year. Okay.
yes,
All right.
definitely.
Yes.
So for those of you who are, at home and you're thinking, you heard the 49 years experience, and they're saying, go on those date nights, do those different activities, try new things. And we're saying, come and join us and try this new experience because you need to keep your relationship. Hey, we want to keep it like we've been married. This is day one, right?
Yeah.
Even 49 years later, we want it to seem as if we're still at our honeymoon stage. And we're so thankful that we get to create these experiences, and we're thankful that the Turners are also doing that. They're living this,
Yes.
like when I see them and I hear them, and it's like, oh man, and I didn't realize it was so long when I was like 49 years, because but truly y'all act as if it's just something new. Like this is a new experience. Like y'all probably just got married late, late in your
Yeah, we're
years.
still on honeymoon. We're still on honeymoon.
It's on.
Yes, I love it.
All right. And I must say that tip wasn't mentioned because you just use it in a different way. Because you talked about
Wonderful.
togetherness and you talk about doing things together, the date nights, playing games and all that. And then a word that caught my attention also was bonding.
Yes.
And when I think of the word bonding, I thought about contact cement. And we know once you use contact cement, you're cemented together. So
Mhm.
you want to be bonded to your
Yes.
spouse so you can
Yes.
stay together. So thank you very much for that tip to the Turners.
Yes, thank you so much for sharing that and your life experience, because 49 years, we don't hear about it a lot, and we're trying to encourage more and more young people to be committed to each other, like stay in it. The challenges will come, but don't allow the challenges to destroy your relationship. Allow it to bring you closer
Yes.
together. And so we just want to
Mhm.
shout out those persons who help to contribute to allow us to be able to host the retreat and be able to make it affordable for everyone to come. So we want to say thank you to Express Food Mart, definitely Druber Solutions. We want to thank them so much for being for sponsoring Advanced Surgery Care. That's Dr. Hume's. Those we're thankful. Nathaniel and Ashley Butler, Carnetta Parker. We are so grateful. Even Candice is also supported, and all those who supported and sponsored and gave donations or prizes for the event. It's going to be a wonderful time. And so we're just so thankful that marriage is a God idea, and he wants, and I think you said it too, Mr. Turner, you said it as well, that God wants our relationships to work. And so many times we try to do the relationships without God, but we need God in the center and with him in the center. And so we just saw his hand working and moving where we were able to, people were able to just reach out and support and make it happen. And we're so grateful for that, because God wants. Marriages are really hurting. They're being destroyed. Children are being impacted and affected negatively. Our world, our society is being affected negatively. And so we want communities to be healthy, but it has to start with us.
Yeah.
It has to start in the
Amen.
home. Grateful that
Yes.
God is able to allow us to do this so that we can make a greater impact to create these breakthroughs that are needed in our families and our communities. And thank you for being a part of it and sharing your experience today with us.
Yes, and as we
Thank
bring this
you.
conversation to a conclusion, can the Turners tell our viewing audience what are you doing now or have planned, and how can our audience get in contact with you?
Well, we are both retired. I've been retired now for 14 years, and you've been retired for 8 years. And so we retired. We are just enjoying each other's company and doing some of the things that we always dreamt of doing. And so we are taking it one day at a time. But we even like for the night, we plan an activity. We are going out tonight. Okay.
Awesome.
And we're going to enjoy ourselves tonight, and we just anticipate looking forward to different activities that we can get involved in, etc.
Seniors.
Yeah, we just formed a senior retirees group at the Shiloh Church. Maggie is, of course, she is chairing that, and we're having a wonderful time. We just had our New Year's, not New Year's, our
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving bash, where we had approximately 25, 30 persons out. And
Okay.
we're having a good time. And it's a new, and you're welcome. I mean, you're not of the age though, but anybody that you can think about an our age bracket, we think from 70 up or 65, or anybody who's retired. Some people retire at 60. They're all
Yeah.
welcome to join the group also,
All right.
Awesome.
Okay.
Awesome.
So we'll definitely let them know. We'll definitely spread the word.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
we're having some wonderful times, man. Yes, yes, yes.
All right. So we just want to say thank you again for taking time out of your schedule, being here with us on day 30, the finale of our 7 pillars to
Yes.
strengthen your marriage summit, Marriage on a Mission. We had an awesome time over these last 30 days. So we just want to say a big thank you also to our Unique Couples community for tuning in every day for the last 30 days with us.
Yes, and for those of you who have been and who've watched all 30 sessions, go ahead, put your name in the chat. We have a special gift for you. If you were here for the entire 30 days, you might have missed, but you went back on and watched the show. Go ahead and let us know. Reach out to us, message us. We want to hear from you, and we have a prize for you as well.
Yes, here at Unique Couples, we are building stronger couples, healthier marriages, and happier families. Love you guys.
Amen.
Have a great rest of
Thank
the evening.
you.
We'll
Thank
see
you.
all. Yes, we'll see you all next week Sunday at the couples retreat.
Yes.
And stay tuned for our Sunday night lives.
Yes. Mhm.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye bye. All right. Bye bye.